Hello. Hello, good evening. Am I audible? And is my screen visible? Can you please comment in the chat box? Hello, namaste. Akshat, hello, namaste. How are you all? Am I visible? Yeah, okay, okay. Okay, okay. How are you all? Did you have had class today? Yes, okay. How was the class? Yes, sadly. Okay. So how was the class? Did it went well? Did it went well? Okay. Okay. So, like most of the places in Kerala is actually facing too much heavy rainfall, so that most of the schools were not open. So I think most of you didn't had class today, right? Yeah. I was also like I was not well last day since I was having slight fever. Do anyone of had fever in this couple of days? Student assembly. What happened? What happened to those two people? What happened to them, Akshat? Okay, okay, okay. Okay, sometimes their BP might get lower. That's yes. Yeah, I was also having fever. And actually I'm not well, but I need to take class, right? You all are waiting for me, isn't it? Okay. I can hear the voice different. Oh, yeah. But I'm not like not too much unwell, but I'm okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's start our class. I think more of the students will be joining soon. It's very hot here. Yeah. Today, actually, the schools were not open, and due to this heavy rainfall, but sadly, today, it was very hot today here. Okay. So we will start our class. So this is the last session for your exam. Okay, so this chapter is conservation of plants and animals. Okay, so have you for this chapter the concepts covered? I will miss you. Okay, I will miss you too. I'll miss you all. Like you were very, very, very much responsive students. We'll meet soon. Okay, Akshat. Okay. So the concepts covered in this class were deforestation. We in this chapter we were covering about the deforestation, ecosystem, and there are a lot many terms: endemic species, endangered animals, and there is a little term called a short term called food web. We'll discuss that soon. And there are different strategies to conserve the plants and animals, like biosphere reserve, wildlife sanctuary, national park, and there's a project named Project Tiger. And finally we will see what is a red data book. Okay, so we will start our class soon. Have you ever visited like national park or tiger reserve, biosphere reserve, anything? Have you guys ever visited these things or these areas? I just wanted to know how many of oh no, only so okay, okay. But if you get a chance, you must visit these things. Okay, wildlife reserve, wildlife sanctuary, or this tiger reserve. There is Periyar Tiger Reserve and national parks. We have in Kerala, we have Silent Valley National Park. Okay, so I don't know. Okay, okay. Like you are like only 13 years old, right? You have more to cover. So you will definitely visit in future. Okay. So what is the purpose of these areas? What is the purpose? What is the purpose of invention of these, or invention of these reserves or national parks? Do you know what is this? What is the purpose? Anyone? For conserving what? For conserving what? That is my question. For conserving animals? Is it only animals? Is it only for the conservation of plants? Ah, yes, it is for the conservation of plants and animals that we have come to this chapter, conservation of plants and animals. Okay, for the conservation of ecosystem also, yes, ecosystem includes these plants and animals. Okay, so these are for the conservation of plants and animals. And you know what is deforestation, right? You all know what is deforestation. What is actually deforestation? What is actually deforestation? What is actually deforestation? Anyone can say. Okay. What is deforestation? Like it is very, very like very much relevant these days, the term deforestation. Yes, it is actually the cutting down of, what is deforestation? Cutting down of forest or plants in a wide range, like in a large scale. It is deforestation. So what is the effect of deforestation? What can deforestation lead to? Do you know what does deforestation lead to? Or yes, floods. Very good. It leads to floods. How it lead to floods, that we will discuss later. And what, like, let me ask you another question. Why deforestation happens? Like, what is the use or what is the purpose of this deforestation? Everyone is cutting down trees. Why is this deforestation happening? What is the purpose? To make, yes, very good, to make buildings. Yes, Amreen, to make buildings. Yeah, for the construction of buildings, we do need wood, right? So for the construction of buildings and for cultivation also, so if we need a large area for cultivation, we cut down the trees of that area, right? So for procuring lands for cultivation. So what are the purposes of this deforestation? Procuring land for cultivation and for the construction of, yes, for the construction of buildings. And can you say yet another purpose of this deforestation? Yes, very good, Bhavya. It is also for these woods are also used as fuel. Okay, these woods are also used as fuel, right? These are the like traditional way. So but these woods are also used as fuel. Hello, Roshan. Welcome back to the class. Okay, so these are for, and also for making of furniture, right? And also for the creation or construction of or the making of furniture. So these are the purpose that deforestation is happening nowadays. So what is deforestation? It is a cutting of forest or cutting of trees in a large area. Okay, so that is called deforestation. And let me ask you another question. Can you say what are the natural causes of this deforestation? Not man-made. What are the natural causes of deforestation? How deforestation can occur in an area naturally? Floods, tornado. Yes, it's very good. And forest fire. Forest fire is actually one of the main reasons for deforestation naturally. Okay. So, have you ever seen forest fires? Have you ever seen forest fires? If you went for some trips, you might have seen these forest fires, like in a long distance on the news. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. I have seen. Okay. Yes. Some of you might have. I think no. Okay. Some of you might have seen this forest fires, and forest fires is also one of the natural causes of deforestation. Okay. Let me ask you another thing. How this plants and plants help in maintaining the carbon dioxide and oxygen balance in the atmosphere. So here you can see an image. You all can see this image. Here you can see in the atmosphere there are lot of trees, right? There are lot of trees and plants. And what gas does this plants emit or release? Oxygen. Yes, after respiration they will release oxygen, right? And this oxygen is taken back, okay, They take in carbon dioxide for food and give out oxygen, which reduces heat and give us rainfall. Oh, very good, very good. Active. Yeah. Okay, very good, very good. Anyway, I'll tell you. So these plants release oxygen, and this released oxygen, okay, this oxygen will be taken by us human beings also. Not only us, all the animals in the nature take up this oxygen and they will utilize it. And which gas will be released? It's just carbon dioxide, right? And this carbon dioxide is again taken by plants. Okay, so the carbon dioxide and oxygen balance in the nature is, or in the atmosphere is, well maintained. Okay, so in order to maintain the amount or concentration of carbon dioxide and oxygen in the atmosphere, what should we need? What is the ultimate thing that we need in the atmosphere? Now you might have understood that. Like, what is the ultimate important thing that we need in the atmosphere or in the nature in order to maintain the carbon dioxide and oxygen balance? What shall we need in the nature? Forest. Yes, of course. This not only for, like, forest includes all the plants, right? So these plants are a very essential part of the nature that helps in maintaining the oxygen and carbon dioxide balance. Right. So what will happen if these trees are like disrupted in a large scale? What will happen? What happens to the gas? What happens to the gas? We have humans release carbon dioxide, right? Or animals release carbon dioxide. So this carbon dioxide, in the absence of these trees, what will happen? Carbon dioxide cannot be taken by trees, right? So the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere starts increasing. Okay, the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere start rising, and this results in the rise in temperature. Rise in temperature. So this leads to global warming. Do you get? Like, did you get what is the relationship between this deforestation and global warming? Everyone, is it clear? Yes. Okay. So once more, I'll tell that once more. If plants are not there, or if forests are being disrupted, what happens in the nature is that the amount of carbon dioxide will keep on increasing in the atmosphere, which leads to increasing temperature. And that process or that phenomenon is known as global warming, increase in temperature due to the rise in carbon dioxide. Okay, in the absence of plants. So this is global warming. Everyone, I need response from everyone. Did you get it? Can I move on to the next one? Yes. Okay. So clear. Okay. Okay. So I'll move on to the next one. So these are the effects of deforestation. Here you can see a lot of here you can see a lot of images, right? So these are most of the effects of deforestation. So what happens, like, I need your answer. What happens to the groundwater level? What happens to the groundwater level after deforestation or during deforestation? What happens to the groundwater level? Will it get rises or will it lowers? It decreases. So how it decreases? How this level of groundwater decreases? How this level of groundwater decreases? We know that. Yeah, here you can see a tree. Okay. Guess this is tree. Okay. Okay. So this is tree. And here you can see soil. Okay. Soil. Okay. Okay, here there is flowing water. Water is there. Okay, so trees help in holding this water, running water, because what happens here is that we know that there are huge amount of soil that surrounds this tree, right? So what happens here is that the trees hold up the soil, thereby it prevents soil erosion. Okay, so there are a lot of soil around the tree, and when water comes, this water, like instead of running away, what happens is that this soil, okay, this soil absorbs this water that is running. Okay, this soil absorbs the water running, and it keeps the groundwater maintained, groundwater level maintained. So, like in the presence of a tree, there is actually a rise in groundwater level. But if these trees are not present, what happens there? The running water, it will be there on the, like it will wash away. It will not be, the soil cannot absorb because trees are not there, so soil will not be like there as if trees are there. Okay, so this, if soil is not there, what happens? The water will run away, the soil's ability will be loosened there, so the water will run away. That causes depletion of groundwater level. Did you get it, everyone? Did you get it? Did you get it? Yes. Okay, I want response from everyone. Okay, so can I? Oh, okay, okay, yes. Okay, I want this response. Okay, like I really like you students because you are very responsive. So I need this response throughout my class. Okay, so that I feel more energetic even if I'm sick. Okay, so this is how groundwater level decreases. Okay. So now what happens? We earlier we said that deforestation results in drought. Okay, how it results in drought? How it results in drought? Naturally, we know that this is a tree. Okay, this is the root and this is the soil. Okay. There is water there's the presence of water in the soil, and this water is taken up to the tree via roots, and it reaches the leaves. And this water, Devabala, okay. Anyway, you can resume this. Okay, you can hear from this part. Okay. So good evening, Devabala. Okay, so this water reaches the leaves, and what happens here? This water is released to the atmosphere with the help of the process called transpiration. You don't have to study in detail about this transpiration. Just remember that with the help of the process called transpiration, the water is lost to the atmosphere. The water that is taken through roots is lost to the atmosphere, and there will be water vapor. So presence of this water vapor or this moisture helps in cloud formation. Okay, you know what is water cycle, right? The same thing. This tells how the trees are involved in this water cycle. Okay, so cloud formation will happen, and ultimately rainfall will occur. Okay, so this takes place naturally. Okay, and what happens in drought is that, and what happens if trees are not there? Ulta. Okay, these things again, like it will be reversed, right? There, if trees are not there, the water vapor will not be accumulated in the atmosphere, so the clouds are not formed and the rainfall is not there. So this results in drought. Understood? Understood, everyone? So this is how drought occurs as a result of deforestation. Everyone, is it clear? Is it clear? Very clear. Okay. Now, so this is how drought happens. And we also wrote that flood also happens as a result of deforestation. And how flood occurs as a result of deforestation? How? Okay, we know that. Okay, again I'm drawing a tree. Okay, so this here is a soil, and deforestation actually decreases the water holding capacity. Okay. Water holding capacity of what? Of soil. Okay. If deforestation happens, we already said it earlier that it decreases the water holding capacity of soil so that the soil cannot absorb the water coming. So when rainfall occurs, what happens? Since this water does not have enough water holding capacity, this water will accumulate on the surface, leading to flood. Did you get it? How flood occurs as a result of deforestation? Everyone? Is it clear? Okay. So, yes, okay. Now I got the answer. And we have another term called desertification. Okay. We have another term called for late joining. That's okay. That's okay. Okay. So you can hear from this because we have covered a bit. Okay. So you can hear from this. So what is desertification? There's a term in the textbook you might have seen a desertification, a term called desertification. So what is desertification? Desert meaning desert. Okay. So what happens here is that how will I say that? Okay. If there are few trees, okay, I will say that if there are only few trees present, okay, if there are only few trees present, that means deforestation is happening. Okay, that means there are no trees, there are only few trees. Okay, what happens to the soil erosion? Will it increase or will it decrease? I need the answer. If there are just one or two, like just a few trees, or if the number of trees gets reduced, what will happen to the soil erosion? Will it get increased or will it get decreased? Soil erosion, yes, very good. Soil erosion increases. Increase, yes, very good, everyone. So soil erosion increases. So what is soil erosion actually? The topmost layer of the soil gets eroded, or it gets lost. That is, or washed away. Yes, that is correct word. It's washed away. Okay, that is top layer of soil is washed away. Okay, is washed away. And what happens if top layer of soil is washed away? What will happen? What happens is that it exposes the innermost layer, innermost hard and rocky layer of soil. Okay, there we know that there are different layers of soil, right? So when the topmost layer of soil is washed away, it exposes the underground or this hard and rocky layers of soil to the surface. Okay, and now this fertile land, the topmost soil actually had a lot of humus. What is humus? It is very nutrient rich. Meaning of exposed. Exposed means it is visible. You can simply say it is visible. Okay, the underground hard and rocky layer will become visible as the topmost layer gets washed away. Did you get it, Devabala? Okay, so we know that the topmost layer of soil has high amount of humus, but the underground or the rocky surface, that does not have, it has less humus only. Okay, so this fertile land will be converted into deserts. Okay, you can just note down this. So this is called desertification. Did you get it? How desertification takes place or how desertification occurs? Everyone? Did you get it? Okay. Okay, you can just note down these points only, and in the exam you can elaborate these points. Okay, so if there are only few trees, so the soil erosion increases, intensity of soil erosion increases, which wash away the topmost layer of soil, and it exposes the underground hard and rocky layer, which is less in humus, and the fertile land is converted into what? Deserts. So this phenomenon is known as desertification. Okay, I think everyone is clear with this. So I think almost everything in this okay. Everything in this slide is clear to you. Increased wildfires. Yes, we have already said that. Loss of biodiversity. Loss of biodiversity means loss of these habitats of all the plants and animals. So it also may occur as a result of deforestation. Increased atmospheric oxygen. Yes, we have covered that. Increased drought. Yes, we have covered that. And water cycle disturbs the water cycle. Yes, we have covered that. And increased flooding. Everything. Is it clear? All these points are clear to you, to all of you. I need the answer now. Is it? Are you confident in these points? Okay. So shall I move on to the next one? Biodiversity decrease means, yes, loss of biodiversity means, what is biodiversity? Actually, it is, this biodiversity consists of all the plants and animals of that area. Okay, so if deforestation happens, what happens is that you all know some most of the birds have their house or their homes on these trees, right? So if the trees are being cut, what happens to the birds? Their biodiversity is lost. One way or the other, it affects all the plants and animals. So that is how it leads to the loss of biodiversity. Is it clear? Someone have asked me. Yeah, Devbala, is it clear? Okay. Okay. So I will move. Describe the relationship between deforestation and global warming. Yeah, I hope like you have the answer right now for this question. Relationship between deforestation and global warming. Yeah, in short, we will write that point. Deforestation, what happens? Deforestation, what happens? Few trees, it results in few trees and in increase carbon dioxide, rise in temperature, and which leads to global warming. Yeah, this is clear, right? I'll move on to the next one. Okay. The removal, yeah, you can answer this one. The removal of top layer of soil leads to, I need the answer from everyone. Okay. I'm waiting for all the answers. Yes. 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 Very good. It is desertification. Okay. You all studied how desertification happens. Now, how do frequent floods and droughts result from deforestation? Yes, we have explained about this. Floods and droughts, how it resulted from deforestation, right? Do you want explanation once more, or is it clear? Can I move on to the next one? I think like I have explained it a lot. Can I move on to the next one? Shall I move to the next question? Okay, so I'll move on to the next one. Okay. Actually, this is actually a very general topic. You can answer in any way this topic, right? Which gas is predominantly responsible for global warming? Just now I have said that. Which gas is responsible for global warming? Very good. It is carbon dioxide. Yes, it is carbon dioxide. Very good. Now, what will happen if we go on cutting trees? The habitat of an animal is disturbed. The top layer of soil is exposed. Everything we have already discussed. What will happen? Yeah, we'll move to the first one. What will happen if we go on cutting trees? What will happen? If we go on cutting these trees, what will happen? It results in, yeah, what happened? Infertile soil, infertile soil, then flood, drought, then, yeah, if we go on cutting trees, global warming, yes, it is the phenomenon. Then what about the groundwater? Groundwater decreases. Yes, there are a lot of effects if we go on cutting the trees, right? And what happens if the habitat of an animal is disturbed? If the habitat, we told that it results in the loss of biodiversity. So what happens if the habitat of an animal is disturbed? Habitat is where the animal lives. Okay. So if the habitat of an animal is disturbed, what happens? It will come in search of, yeah, their available food will not be there. It is disturbed. The food chain will be interrupted. So what will happen? It will come in search of food. Okay. The top layer of soil is exposed. What happens? It results in desertification. We have the detailed answers here. So if we go on cutting trees, what will happen? If cutting of trees continues, rainfall and fertility will decrease. Now, moreover, there will be increased chances of natural calamities such as flood, droughts. Also, this will lead to global warming as carbon dioxide traps the heat rays reflected by the earth. Due to the destruction of forest, wildlife is disappearing. Many species have disappeared and many are on verge of extinction. You have a lot to produce gas on these topics, right? So then D is, if the habitat of an animal is disturbed, what happens? The loss of habitat for animal species can harm the ecosystem. It can harm the ecosystem. What is ecosystem? We will deal with that later. Okay. And the removal of trees and other type of vegetation reduces the availability of food. Yeah, we know that plants produces food. So if these plants are being cut, what happens? It reduces the availability of food. Shelter. Most of the animals, they depend on plants for the shelter and the breeding habitat. Okay. And animals that lose their native habitats are forced into new areas. They will come out or they will go to new areas in search of shelter and food. And that will affect the new area or the species or the organisms that are there in the new area. Okay. Is it clear? Everyone? Can I move to the next one? If the top layer of soil is exposed, what will happen? Yeah, it's very obvious that it results in desertification. Yeah, okay. Now, yeah, what can you see here? If we go to a forest, we'll see lots and lots of or wide variety of plants and animals, right? Yeah, this is very soothing to my eyes also. Okay, so it's clear. Snail, where is the snail? Yeah, you can see snail. Now, what can you see else? Only snail. Like, is this the only thing that caught into your eyes? Good. Yes, very good. Then mushroom. Yes. Then you can see bear. You can see deer. You can see squirrel. And is this squirrel? Yeah. Okay. Cat, everything you can see, right? So, zebra, I think. Which one? Oh, is this? I don't know. Is this zebra? Owl, yes, you can see owl. Yeah. So, a wide variety of plants and animals you can observe here. I'm between the bushes. Okay. Is this what you meant? Okay. Okay. So, but is there too? Yeah. I have seen a lot of examples from your side. So we'll move to the topic. Here you can see a lot of animals and plants, right? And what is a term that is collectively used to refer to these plants and animals? Any idea? Have you ever heard of the term called flora and fauna? Flora actually refers to the plants of that area and fauna refers to the animals of that area. So these are the two terms. Just remember these two terms. What is flora and what is fauna? Okay, now we will come to the ecosystem. So there are specific terms in this chapter. So you just have to understand what are these terms. Okay, sometimes it can be asked as give the definition of this and that. Okay, so what is ecosystem? Ecosystem is made up of all plants, animals, and microorganisms in an area, along with non-living components. Non-living components such as climate, soil, river, deltas. Like when we hear the word non-living abiotic things, we only like refer to this pen, chair, bottle, etc. Right? But these are not non-living things compared like in accordance with the ecosystem. For in case of ecosystem, the non-living components are soil, temperature, river, climate, etc. Okay. So ecosystem is actually the sum total of biotic and abiotic components and their relationship with or the interaction between these biotic and abiotic components. Okay, so here the ecosystem is made up of all the plants, animals, and microorganisms in an area, along with non-living components such as climate, soil, river, deltas, etc. So here you can see a specific type of ecosystem. What can be this? Which type of ecosystem can be this? This is pond ecosystem. Okay, this is actually pond ecosystem. Okay, here you can see duck, mosquito, everything. You can see a lot of plants, flora and fauna here, right? So what are the abiotic components here that you can observe here? Any one of you can mention. What are the abiotic components that you can see here in the pond ecosystem? Rock, yeah. Then pond actually consists of these things, right? Okay. Soil, yes, very good. Then water, yes. Sand, yes, soil, etc. Temperature can be there. Okay, everything, air can be there. So these are considered as abiotic components. So this is an example of an ecosystem, pond ecosystem. Okay. Now, what do you mean by a species? Air. Correct, correct. So what do you mean by a species? Here you can see a wide variety or wide range of or wide breeds of dogs, right? So we know that these dogs can actually interbreed. Okay, these are different varieties or different breeds of husky. Okay, I don't know the specific names of these dogs, but these are different breeds of dogs, right? I will generalize that. Okay. Do you like husky? Okay. Ah, yes. Okay. So these are different breeds of dogs, right? But these all belong to a species. Okay, these all belong to a species. So this is a group of population which are capable of interbreeding. So actually the main important stressed out portion of what or part of what and a species is that it is a group of population which are capable of interbreeding. This is the main important thing, which are capable of interbreeding. And the members of a species can produce fertile offspring. Okay, fertile offspring only with their members of their own species and not with the members of other species. They cannot breed with a cat or they cannot breed with a horse, right? They cannot like breed with other species. But this can they are capable of interbreeding and produce fertile offspring, and members of a species have common characteristics too. So what are the 2 points that you must remember in case of a species? What are the 2 points? You can say that in comment box. Okay, I'm waiting for your reply. What are the 2 points that you have to write if 1 and 2? What? Okay, so that is, yeah, very good. It is correct. Actually, you meant these 2 points, right? Okay, so species is a group of population which are capable of interbreeding and that can produce fertile offspring. Okay, so this is species. And what is endemic species? What do you mean by endemic species? It is a particular category of species. Okay, here you can see a polar bear, right? Polar bear. But can we see this polar bear here in India? Can we see? Can we see polar bear here in India? No. So where? No, I think. Yeah, it is. No, we cannot see polar bear in India. But where do we? Can be seen. Okay. So where do we commonly see this polar bears? It is seen in Arctic regions. Okay, Arctic regions. So like Alaska, okay, some other countries, Alaska. Yeah, it is very endemic, or it is very I like Alaska. Oh, I don't know that place actually. Okay, so I haven't been to Alaska any like any time. Okay, so polar bear, it can be only seen in Arctic regions, right? So these are endemic to in Russia. It's also correct. Okay, so it is being endemic to that area, or it is only seen in that particular area. So endemic species are those species of plants or animals which are found exclusively in a particular area. Okay, exclusively in a particular area. They are not naturally found anywhere else. A particular type of animal or plant may be endemic to a zone or a state or a country. I hope it's very clear to you. Now, there are three factors that affect the existence of an endemic species. Okay, if this region, okay, if this specific region called Alaska, okay, we will see this as Alaska. Okay, we have polar bears. I don't know to draw this polar bear. Okay, guess this as polar bear. Okay, so this region has polar bear here. And what factors can affect this existence of this polar bear? One factor is, no, what can disturb the existence? Okay, I'll just reframe the question. What can disturb, leave the abiotic factors. Okay, leave the abiotic factors, concentrate on the biotic factors. Okay, so what causes or what factors can affect or disturb the existence of this polar bear here in Alaska? One factor is destruction of their habitat. If that habitat gets destructed, okay, or consider some other forest. Okay, if that habitat of that forest, or if the plants of that forest get disturbed, what happens to the organisms living there? Their habitat itself is disturbed. Okay, like if we are living in our flat, or we have a home, right? So if that home is disturbed, or if the home is like disrupted, what happens to us? Our habitat is disturbed, right? Okay, then we'll be confused where to go. So our habitat is disturbed. Okay, now increasing population. If the number of polar bears increased in a vast amount, it can also affect the existence of endemic species of such as polar bear. What happens here is that the level of competition between these increases. Okay, this polar bear competes with this polar bear for what? For the space, for the light, for the food, etc. Okay, now next factor is introduction of new species may affect the natural habitat of endemic species and endanger their existence. So if the new species are introduced in that into that area, it may affect the existence of that endemic species. So these are the three factors that affect the existence of endemic species of that area. Okay. I think time is very short. I'll move a little faster. Okay, so what are endangered animals? Yeah, animals whose number are diminishing to a level that they might face extinction in near future. Okay, they might face extinction, but they are not extinct now, presently, but they will face extinction. Okay, they might face extinction. They are called endangered animals. Royal Bengal tiger example, very good. So tigers are actually in the verge of extinction. Tigers are actually in the verge of extinction in India. There's a project named Project Tiger to protect the number of tigers. Okay, 1973. Oh, very good. Okay, so what is food chain and food web? You know what is food chain? Actually, food chain is a linear sequence of organisms through which nutrients and energy pass as one organism eat another. Okay, so here you can see green plants. These green plants can be consumed by a grasshopper. Okay, and this grasshopper can again be consumed. Frog eats grasshopper, right? So this frog consumes this grasshopper. And what happens to the frog? A snake go behind this frog and eats this frog. Okay, and what happens to the snake? And a hawk, like it is similar to eagle, but it is not eagle. A hawk predates this snake. Okay, and then when the hawk dies, okay, when the hawk dies, what happens? The microorganisms such as fungi, they will decompose the dead remains of this hawk. So it is returned back to soil. So this is called a food chain. Why is it called a food chain? Because it is a linear sequence of organisms. After green plants, there is grasshopper. Behind grasshopper, there is frog. Okay, it is a linear sequence of organisms through which these nutrients and energies pass from one organism to another. So this is food chain. But is food chain very common in the like in the nature, or is food web is very common in the nature? Actually, food web is very common. Okay, because this grass actually can be consumed by mouse, like not grass, plants. Okay, or anything. Okay, anything in this that can be considered as primary producers. Okay, it can be, but mouse do not have this first preference for this grass, but it can be, or it might be consumed by mouse, and this mouse can be consumed by snake, or this mouse can be consumed by this eagle. So there is a interrelation, okay, interconnection between all the organisms in the nature. So this is called food web. Actually, food chain is just a linear sequence, but food web is a network of connection. Okay, food web is actually more common than food chain. Okay, do you understand? Do you get it, everyone? I'll move to the main. Actually, this is the main thing in this chapter, but you need to know everything. Okay. Okay, can I move? Can I move? Okay, so we will come to the main portion of this chapter, that is conservation of forest and wildlife. So what is biodiversity conservation? We know that it is a conservation of all the plants and animals living in a particular area. So biodiversity conservation can be in situ as well as ex situ type of conservation. What is in situ? On the site. It is like on the site only, not outside, but ex situ is outside. Okay, off the site conservation. That is the difference between in situ conservation and ex situ conservation. And the conservation approaches that is discussed in this chapter, that like wildlife sanctuary, national park, biosphere reserve, they all comes under the in situ conservation. Okay, and ex situ conservation is involves or includes the zoos, botanical gardens, etc. Okay, I think you all might have visited a zoo, right? Now, we'll move on to the first one, biosphere reserve. So biosphere reserve are actually particular areas which are protected and meant for the conservation of life forms like plants and animals. Actually, these all are just the conservation methods. Okay, there is a very little difference between all these three: biosphere reserve, wildlife sanctuary, and national park. Okay, so biosphere reserve, particular areas which are protected and meant for conservation of life forms like plants and animals, and it restores the traditional lives of tribals living in that vicinity. Actually, biosphere reserve is it's a particular area where some tribals also lives there. Okay, and it also restores, or it also conserves this traditional life. Actually, tribals do have a lot of traditional activities and traditional methods, right? So this biosphere reserve also like respects their traditional life balance. Okay, that is a specialty of biosphere reserve, and it conserves the biodiversity of an area. Example is a Pachmarhi Biosphere Reserve that is given near textbook. Okay, Pachmarhi Biosphere Reserve. And this Pachmarhi Biosphere Reserve, it has one national park named Satpura and two wildlife sanctuaries named Bori and Pachmarhi. Okay, we can see that here. Here you can see one national park named Satpura National Park here, and two wildlife sanctuaries named Pachmarhi Sanctuary and Bori Sanctuary. Okay, and there are some endemic flora and endemic fauna that is only seen in this Pachmarhi Biosphere Reserve. Okay, that is also given in your textbook. And what is endemic flora? What is endemic flora? Yeah, I just need to review. What is endemic flora? What is endemic flora? Plants of a particular area. Plants that, yes, animals and plants found in a particular area only. It is not seen anywhere else. Okay. So some of the endemic flora found in Pachmarhi Biosphere Reserve are sal tree and wild mango. Okay, so these are only seen in Pachmarhi Biosphere Reserve. And endemic fauna includes bison, Indian giant squirrel, and flying squirrel. So these are some endemic fauna of that biosphere, like Pachmarhi Biosphere Reserve. Now, these are some zones. You don't have to study this. Actually, there are 3 zones of Biosphere Reserve. There's a core zone, there's a buffer zone, and there's a transition zone. This core zone is actually core zone is actually very protected zone. Why is it like? They have these animals that are under conservation, and the tribal peoples under conservation. No, actually, these areas do not have tribal people. These buffer zones do have this tribal people. This core zone only have these animals and plants. Okay, and this buffer region, we can enter this buffer region. Tourism is actually allowed here, and it is a place of research, education, monitoring, human settlement, including these tribals, tourism, etc. And this transition zone also have this activity. So core zone, nobody is allowed to enter this core zone. Okay, so these are the zones of Biosphere Reserve. Okay, we'll move on to the next one, wildlife sanctuary. So what is wildlife sanctuary? It is an area where animal habitats and their surroundings are protected from any sort of disturbance. We have seen what is Biosphere Reserve. In Biosphere Reserve, plants and animals along with the tribal people are protected. But in wildlife sanctuary, only animals are considered. Okay, an area where animal habitats and their surroundings are protected from any sort of disturbance. Capturing, killing, and poaching of animals are very prohibited in these regions. People living in wildlife sanctuaries are allowed to do activities such as grazing by their livestock, collecting medicinal plants, firewood, etc. Okay, so these are actually, you can just study this only. An example of wildlife sanctuary is Chinnar Wildlife Sanctuary. And I think most of you might have visited a zoo. Now it became very interesting, right? Zoo. How many of you have visited a zoo? I know I'm like bit faster, but I have to finish this. This is actually a revision class, right? But I'm taking in detail. Okay. I have. Okay. So I think most of you have visited a zoo, right? Most of you have visited a zoo. You may have trips to a zoo, right? So what is the specialty of zoo? Is it in situ conservation or is it ex situ conservation? Is it on-site conservation or it is off-site conservation? Zoo. Ex situ, very good. It is ex situ conservation because the animals are taken from their natural habitat or from somewhere else to this particular area, and they are kept in cages there, or they are exposed to public. Okay, they are shown to public. So this is zoo. So what is the difference between zoo and wildlife sanctuary? Now you can answer this. Zoos are areas where animals are kept for public exhibition. Yes, you all have visited a zoo, right? And these are small areas where animals are kept inside the cages. Yes. And wildlife sanctuaries, they are areas where wild animals are protected in their natural habitats. Here, hunting or poaching practices are prohibited. Okay. Now we will move on to the national park. The final conservation method is national park. And in this national park, it is an area reserved and protected by the government to preserve the endangered species of plants and animals, generally termed as flora and fauna. It also preserves the landscape and historic objects. Okay, there is one speciality for this national park, that it preserves this landscape and historic objects. You like, it might sound like everything is same, right? Biosphere reserve, wildlife sanctuary, and national park, but they have a little difference between them. We have seen that biosphere reserve, it protects the plants and animals and also the tribals living in that area. Okay, then what about wildlife sanctuaries? It had it was involved in the animal protection, and hunting and poaching are also prohibited there. And in case of national park, what happens here? It actually protects this endangered species of plants and animals, and also it preserves the landscape and historic objects. That is stressed here. It protects the historic objects seen there. Okay. So that is a specialty of national park. An example of national park is Satpura National Park. It's the first reserve forest of India and finest Indian teak. It can be asked, like, where is this finest Indian teak found? Where is it? Satpura National Park. Okay. So there is another national park called Ranthambore National Park. And finally, Project Tiger. So what is the aim or what is the objective of this Project Tiger? It is to ensure the survival and maintenance of tiger population in country, because these tigers are actually becoming endangered animals and they are they're in the verge of extinction. Okay, they might extinct in the future. So we need to protect these tigers, or we need to ensure the survival and maintenance of this tiger population in the country. So that is why a project called Project Tiger was launched in 1973. Okay. Now, this is another thing. There's a red data book. Okay. There's a red data book, and this red data book actually involves different categories of animals. Okay, they have different categories. They show different categories of animals, like extinct in the wild, critically endangered, vulnerable, near threatened, least concerned, data deficient, not evaluated. So these are different categories of animals that face extinction. Okay, that face extinction, and these are shown in red data book. Okay, and this red data book is actually maintained by International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. You must remember this full form of IUCN. Okay, you have to remember the full form of IUCN, and red data book is actually maintained by this organization. Okay, International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. Okay. Everyone, is it clear? I think I'm going a little fast. Can you follow me? Are you able to follow? Everyone, is it clear? Yes. Okay. I know I'm can go faster. Okay, very good. Okay, I was tensed if you can understand, or if you can follow my this session. Like, I know I'm little faster, but I'll move faster. Okay, how do even little plants or little animals play a role in the ecosystem? How? You know that there are different microorganisms, right? They can be considered as little animals, right? They are microorganisms. And what happens to this? What is the thing that that occurs with the help of this microorganism? They decompose, right? So what is the major role that that is played by little animals in an ecosystem? In the food chain itself, right? In the food chain itself, small organisms play an important part in the food chain, in food web. For example, we have decomposers, right? We have decomposers, which are microorganisms, and which are mostly microorganisms, and they help in decomposing dead and decaying matter. Okay, so this is how even little animals play a role in an ecosystem. Okay. Now, which of the following, it's your turn. Which of the following activities are prohibited in national parks, sanctuaries, and biosphere reserve? It is your turn now. Very good. Oh, yes, all of this. All of the poaching, hunting, felling trees, everything, all of this. Okay. Okay. Now, D, actually poaching is trapping these animals. So, okay, that is poaching, trapping these animals. Okay, name some species which are endemic to Pachmarhi Biosphere Reserve. Name some species which are endemic to Pachmarhi Biosphere Reserve. Very good, Adit. Indian giant squirrel, yes. I need more. This is not the only examples that I have taught. There are more examples, right? Do you remember? Yes, very good. Sal, wild mango. Yes. Bison in case of animals. Bison, Indian giant squirrel, and flying squirrel, right? So these are some species which are endemic to Pachmarhi Biosphere Reserve. Remember these things. Okay. So we have seen what are biosphere reserve, wildlife sanctuaries, and what is national park. Okay. So these are the difference just in short. Okay. The questions can be asked like what is the difference between this and that, or wildlife sanctuary and biosphere reserve, or what is the difference between biosphere reserves and this national parks, or what is the difference between wildlife sanctuaries and national parks. Okay. Like it can be asked. Okay. Teak is actually, yes, it can be seen, but it is not endemic. Okay. It is not endemic to that area. Okay. Indian finest teak is found there, but it is not seen, it is not endemic to that area. Okay. Okay, so wildlife sanctuaries, coming to this slide, wildlife sanctuaries protect only wild animals. Biospheres, okay, sorry, this is not biospheres, biosphere reserve. Okay, biosphere reserves protect entire diversity, including the various plants and animals found in that area, and it empowers the tribal habitat of that particular area. And what about national parks? It protects historic antiques, plants and animals under complete ecosystem. Okay, so these are the basic, or we can say wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves, and national park in short, like this. Okay, is it clear, everyone? Is it clear? Okay, very clear. Okay, so do you have any doubt? I think the time is up. Yeah. I don't know how I completed this chapter in just 1 hour. No doubt, none at all. Okay. So I hope every details of this chapter is very clear to you. And when you have the exam, like what is the date of your exam? And or like is this revision class actually helping you? 16th, okay, 6th. Okay. So is this revision class helping you? Is this revision class helping you? Yes. Okay. I'm happy to hear that. Very okay. Okay. So I'm really happy to hear that. And actually, this chapter was not included, remember, but you are quite aware of this chapter, right? Like if the teacher in your class ask about this, you can immediately respond to this to her questions, right? Okay. Okay. So thank you for now. We will see later in like in soon. Okay. Thank you. We'll miss you. We'll miss you too. We'll miss you. Actually, you all were very interactive for my class, and that made me active throughout my class. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone. All the best for your exams. Okay. So have a good night, good sleep. Thank you so much. You can only miss you, miss you. That understandable for me. Thank you so much, Devabala. Okay, you can leave. Give your feedback, okay? Thank you. Thank you. Oh, next revision class, we will see. Anyway, we will see. We will update that, okay? Okay, bye. You can leave. Okay, bye.